Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome, fellow Team Patchination people. Good to see everybody out here. Welcome our Monday night call. We're just going to get things rolling here in a second. Hey, Aaron, nice to see you on the call. Give me 1 second here. Okay, well, if somebody sees Paul come on here, Karen or Brenna, you can just watch for him and then we'll put him in or whatever. And I'll get you to unmute. There, you're unmuted, Karen. Perfect. So welcome, everybody. Great to see everybody today. As we do every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we like to try and bring you as a team some training that you will feel is valuable to you, that will help you grow your business, help you with some tips. And certainly we have a lot of people on here that can also bring tips. And so we like to have those people have an opportunity to train, have them come on as panelists as tonight. And first of all, I will introduce Karen Smith. Karen Smith has been a teammate of mine and Paul Austin since almost the beginning, 6+ years, Karen, I believe, 6.5 years or so, yep. And has been relentless in sharing this technology. She lives in the Kingston, Ontario area on a beautiful home on a lake that's a spectacular setting, and has had great successes sharing our technology in Eastern Ontario there, and knows how to present, how to share the technology, and certainly can help with back office questions and placement and so on. So we're grateful to have Karen as one of our panelists tonight. Karen, welcome.
Thanks, Terry.
And second on our panel, we have Brenna Boisvert. Brenna Boisvert is from Sylvan Lake, Alberta, and which is, for those of you that don't know where Sylvan Lake is, it's near Red Deer, about an hour or so from Calgary. Brenna as well has been in this, I think, for 6.5 years at least now, and has built a strong team in the Super Patch, as originally was Vox Life and transitioned with the Super Patch. Brenna's experience in network marketing has been extensive prior to Vox Life and the Super Patch company. Paul Austin, who I don't know whether he's on this call yet or not.
He's not yet. I keep searching him and he's not yet.
He's not yet, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. I know he's at his cottage and maybe he's having internet problems or whatever. But Brenna has built a great business. In fact, I'll tell you a quick little story about Brenna. I met Brenna about 6.5 years ago at an event in Las Vegas, and it was an Eric Worre GoPro event. And she said to me, "Do you think if I got 100 people in the room that Jay, or what do you think?" No, she said, "What would you think Jay would come to Red Deer and do an event for?" I said, "Well, if you put 100 people in a room, I'm sure I can convince them to fly there and we'll do a presentation." And she said, "Oh, that's easy. I'll put 200 in." And I went, "Oh, what a little pistol. This is awesome." Well, she put 320 in the room as her first event in Red Deer going back 6+ years ago. So Brenna did a great job and has been a great leader and a great presenter. And she was just recently on a radio broadcast program out of Florida called Caregiver Radio, and did a fantastic job. So I'm delighted to have Brenna here as one of our panelists today as well. And, you know, with a company that transitions like we have transitioned, because we're basically a new company, and I don't know whether everybody has watched the call that Steve Schultz put in our our team pages today, sort of an update of the growing pains that we're all experiencing. And would we like things to be better? Yes, of course we would. We would all like things to be better. However, we don't always get what we ask for right away, but we're all transitioning and we're all growing and we're trying to do our best. But unbelievable the results on the winnings for people for Cabo St. Lucas trip and so on. And so, as Steve said on the call, what a great problem to have. Too many people qualified, so they're going to have to break it up into 2 trips. Too many people won it, so they didn't have enough rooms booked, so they're going to have to break it up into a couple groups apparently. But really, with transitioning, with the comp plan changing back in early January, late 2022, bringing in strategic placement and stuff, and those are things that are very difficult sometimes to learn and to comprehend. So what we thought we would do tonight is, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have questions, and there may be, product questions, they may be questions on building, they may be questions on our Facebook page, they may be questions on the back office. And so what I thought might be helpful tonight is to maybe spend 20 minutes, 25 minutes on questions and answers, and then maybe we could hear a couple quick business success stories at the end of the call if there's time. So what I suggest that we do is that if everybody knows how to raise their hand on here, you can just raise your hand and just unmute yourself, because I've got it set up so that you should be able to just unmute yourself and ask a question, and then one of the panelists will do their best to try and answer the question. So who's going to be the daring one to ask the first question? And come on, don't tell me there's no questions on here. Nobody's got their hand up. Oh, there's somebody. Chanda's got.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind hearing everybody's tips of how do you work the business in your daily life.
So you want to hear basically how you work the business in your daily life. Well, Brenna, you are probably the best one to answer this as well.
Okay.
Kind of a
I'm just going to
question.
clarify with you. Do you want me to clarify how I started and how I built off the start, or just how I just every day do it? Like basically just my daily method of operation kind of thing?
You'll have to unmute again, Chanda.
Oh.
There you go. Can you hear us, Chanda?
Oh no.
Well, Bren, Chanda, are you? It says that you're unmuted. I don't know whether we lost her. Well, maybe you could just, Brenna, just talk about sort of your DMO and how you.
Okay. Okay. So every day, I don't know, I guess we're always running into people. So I'll start with that. I never stop talking to people, and I've learned very good at how to just have conversations with people, no matter where I'm at. And so, and humans tell you problems every day. So I definitely do that every day. Talk to people, patch people wherever I'm out and about, and gear my conversations to get them to hear about what I do. Or a lot of people ask me what I do for a living. So there's that. Every day I try to reach out to people. Like I definitely schedule in an hour a day, whatever it is that day I want to work on throughout the week, whether it's direct messaging people, talking to people, follow-ups, things like that. So I schedule on my calendar to do things like that every single day. And one thing I will say to build is I never ever, when I'm talking to someone, not talk about the business side of things. It's a really amazing company. It's an easy company. Our products are amazing. We all know that. And so that's my daily method of operation, is really just slotting time in my calendar and having specific specific income producing activity. That's where it's at, doing income producing activities. So whether that's direct messaging people, texting people, talking to people about the product, how I can help them, and follow-ups. You can never do enough follow-ups with people, things like that. So that's just the little office things I do at home. And then when I'm out and about, like I said, I don't ever not talk about the product to somebody.
Yeah, I think Brenna, one of those things is, first of all, remember to always have product in your vehicle. Because
Yeah.
I know
I have it in my purse all the time, all the
I
time.
know I've been caught a few times where I'm like, damn, I forgot my kit or whatever, and I'm at the golf course and somebody's like struggling with, sciatic pain or something, and I wanna
Yeah.
help them.
So where do I meet these people, Vanessa? I just saw a question in the thing. I happen to see it pop up. I'll tell you an amazing story. I was in the drugstore one day in town here, and I had to waste some time in there. So this lady just started talking to me that was actually just working the till in the makeup section. And she started telling me about all these things about herself. And I said, well, I think you're talking to the right person. I sell neurological products that help with that. She was actually telling me about how she battled cancer and went through chemo treatments. And 3 years, she has brain fog so bad, it's frustrating, it's horrible. She has absolute horrible nerve pain from the chemo treatments. And I said, well, aren't you in luck? Like, I have these products that do this and that. And I just started telling her about them. And she's like, oh my gosh. So I grabbed some stuff. I said, here's some product. Let me know what you think. I did the balance test on her. Obviously, I always do that to people because it just blows people's minds. And so I gave her a few patches of the things she talked about to me. And I heard from her actually 2 days later, and she is going hog wild on the product. Her brain fog is gone. And things like that. So humans naturally, I'm not even joking, love to complain and tell you their problems.
Mhm.
We all are wired like that. And so I just talk to people and they start telling you things. I'm very good. I've taken a lot of courses, a lot of training on how to talk to people, how to get them to say things. They ask you questions, you ask back, and they ask you what you do. And so that's how it all began, was all those things. My kids are in sports, so I'm always at arenas or baseball. So I talk to people that way. But like I said, I can just be in a till lineup and I strike up conversation with people in a till line. Ask them how they are, what they're doing, or say hi. They naturally just start talking to you. And I know how to gear conversations quickly to get them talking, and it works. And people will always tell you something. Or I see people struggling. If I see someone walking with a limp, or I will just go up and talk to them about it. Things like that. That's how I meet all these people. One thing I'll tell you is how I started my business though, was I ran little events every month, once a month in my hometown for COVID. And I got all my associates to invite people. I invited guests. I would post on the buy sell groups in my town, over the local places. And honestly, they started very small meetings, and they started growing and growing every month. And we ran events like that too. I also met people that way. We would have perfect strangers show up because if I shared a list of things our patches could help with, come out and see this information clinic tonight, 7 p.m. in this meeting room, wherever I rented in town. And it worked really good. And we got lots of people there. How do I gear the conversation? I ask them what they do for work. I ask them questions, ask people questions, they answer, and then they ask you things back. That's how I gear conversations. I'll ask them questions, or I'll compliment their shirt, or just start a conversation that way. Things like that. I start asking questions, and then when they start talking, you can kind of tell, and then you can gear it to whichever direction. If you hear things about sports, or if you hear things about their living, what they do, things like that.
That's great. Anything to add to that, Karen or Paul?
For myself, since COVID happened, I started doing online vendor events. So I've gotten a lot of customers through online vendor events, as well as a lot of my team are from those online vendor events. The other thing that I do is I search podcast communities and I go on podcasts and I talk about my story and the struggles that I've had and how I have changed my pain into purpose by helping other people with the amazing technology that we have. So as far as, daily method of operation, pretty similar to Brenna's. The fortune's in the follow-up. It's one thing to get all these people and have them as customers, but if you're not following up with them, they will drop off. It's really important, even people that I have talked to in some of the online vendor events. You just keep dripping on them. They may not be ready at the time where you want them, but if you just keep them in the loop and let them know what's happening, any updates in the company, any events that are happening, you want to always just keep them in the know so that they know that they're important. And 9 times out of 10, those are the ones that have turned around and said, you know what, you've been so helpful over the past, sometimes it's 5, 6, 7 months. And then all of a sudden they want to become a customer because that's the time for them. So I would just say, just keeping people engaged. The online vendor events were great during COVID when we couldn't get out. And I was actually talking about this last night on my own team meeting. And now that we can get out there, it's really important, as Brenna said, you got to do that demo. Our products sell themselves. You do that demo, you've got them pretty much.
Yeah. Once you switch online, I forgot that I run a lot of online events, more like the opportunity meetings Steve has. But I get people that, like, say I have a good customer that loves my product. Hey, do you want to share with your friends and family about this? And I run a quick opportunity meeting with them online, and I run that Zoom and the presentation slides. I do that with new associates too. And what I love about those ones is you can get people from all over. Like, I'll do those little opportunity events and I'll have people from the States to Manitoba to provinces in Canada, wherever. And it's really cool because it gets a vast array of people and it gets the whole presentation in front of them. And those are really powerful too. So I do it that way too with new associates. I make them do an online launch event if I don't live close to them. If they live close, I make them do a launch event at their house, obviously, things like that. So that's how I get geared up to, and we get meeting people. I even run some every once in a while on my own with new customers, new people, just so they can hear the whole presentation. Those are really, really powerful too. Yeah.
Great. Well, let's move on to Laura Toomer. Go ahead. Have you unmuted?
Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here.
Nice to see you, Laura.
Sorry, I can't get my camera working.
Oh, sorry.
have-
Nice to hear you.
Two quick questions. I have a friend who's on Liberty and REM. She does have restless leg syndrome. So I know the REM helps with that, and the Liberty. She has severe stress and anxiety because of issues at work, brain. She's just burnt out, hasn't had a vacation in 3 years, like a lot of people, I guess, because of COVID. I was going to recommend the Flow patch to her as well, and the Defend. And I was just wondering your thoughts on that.
So you're saying that she has a lot of stress and anxiety?
A lot of stress at work, and she told me her brain's fried on a message today. So until she can get on a vacation.
Yeah, I don't think Flow's going to hurt her, but my suggestion would be, from my perspective, is to have her on the Peace Patch.
Yeah.
Just the Peace Patch and the Defend.
Have the Peace Patch. Defend's just going to work on her immune system. So,
Right.
I think that's my go-to. I mean, that's one of the patches that I wear every day without fail. But Liberty for sure, and have her try the Peace Patch and see if that brings down her anxiety and stress so that she's able to deal with stuff easier.
Okay, perfect.
That's what I would suggest. I don't think that Flow is the right choice in this situation for me. I mean, it's not going to hurt her, and if she
Right.
wants to wear the Flow as well, but I would pick the Peace Patch over the Flow in this particular case.
That was my first thought, was the Peace, but then I read more into her message, and I also have a client in the States, and I just have a really quick question, which it might not be a great question. We pay $60 Canadian. My client has been paying $60 US for her patches. Should it not be around 45 US for the patches?
Depends whether she's a customer or whether she's an associate.
So she's a customer.
No, so she'll pay the retail price of $60.
So they're charged depending on what country you live in. So it's 60 Canadian for us.
Yeah.
I live in Canada. Well, I'm
Yeah,
from
and
Canada, but I
in
pay
the-
45.
Yeah, in the UK, it'll be 60 pounds. It's whatever the currency is in that country.
So there's no exchange rate taken into
No,
consideration. Okay, alrighty. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Thank you for your questions, Lauren.
welcome.
Alicia, nice to see you.
Hi, I was just gonna kind of chime in because even though I've been with Super Patch for 6 years, almost 6 years now, I feel like a fish out of water still. And I'm just jumping back into this truly because COVID like smacked me down too. I've done a couple of trainings with Eva. I'm not going to pronounce her last name, but you guys know who I'm talking about, I hope. And I have really found that I'm going to show you my business cards. Super duper simple, but these have helped me just in the last week since I've gotten these business cards. I've gotten 3 online orders. I have no idea who they're from, who they are. No idea. All I can say is they're probably from these business cards. So I'm going to just show you mine. Super duper simple. They have nothing on them for that shows the Super Patch name except for on the back. And then I put the QR code, my number, email, and that's it. So it doesn't say Super Patch or anything. And like Brenna, it's very easy for me to jump out of my comfort zone and just talk to people. Like tonight we were at Pizza Ranch for a church fundraiser, and a lady walked out with a cane with her 2 grandkids. And I'm like, hey, can I show you something? I want to help you walk out of here a little bit better. And she looked at me like, what are you talking about? But she's got steel rods in her legs and all this. She walked out of Pizza Ranch. She didn't realize it without using her cane.
Yeah.
Aw.
So it's one of those things like I cannot emphasize enough to get out of your comfort zone. Your growth will come when you get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I can't emphasize that enough. But I really do believe these simple, easy peasy business cards without the company logo or anything on them.
Alicia, maybe you could do us a favor. Maybe you could take a picture of those cards
Oh, yeah.
back, and then post it in our team Facebook page.
Yeah, for sure.
And then people can see it up close and personal and decide whether they
Yep.
want to do that.
You- I was gonna say, if you guys want some simple, awesome tools, anything Tom Schreider, he teaches you how to speak to people's subconscious mind. These are really, really thin books, you can see. They're really, really easy to read and really quick, and they're super cool for our type of business.
Yeah,
Perfect.
maybe you can put a link to in the team page for that for Tom Schreider too.
Yeah.
Which is Big Al. And
He
then,
teaches you how to talk to people in very simple, basic ways and like now and get a yes now.
yeah, so that's great. Thank you, Alicia. That's great. And getting in your comfort zone is key for sure. No question about it. And as you said, Brenna, just getting people to talk is huge.
Yeah, and it's not even like just talk to people organically like you do in your way, right? And it just comes and it's easy. When you're being yourself, it's really easy, right?
100%. So
Yeah.
Paul Vandeven, good to see you, Paul.
Good evening, everybody. So there was a question in the chat, and I want to ask Brenna and Karen just to tell us how they use, I guess maybe for some of the new people, tell them what the Brand Champion program and how you use it to build your business.
The Brand Champion program is an amazing customer referral program that I use quite a bit. And that's where a lot of times where you see orders that are coming into your back office and you don't know where they're coming from, they actually could be customers of your customers that have been referred because they all become your customers. So it's really, really important when you are having a customer sign up for the first time to encourage them to share, because not only do the people that they refer get 25% off their first order, they're going to actually get a $30 credit in their back office towards more products. So great point, Paul, because last year I had a customer who referred 15 people just before Christmas. And I call it rack 'em and stack 'em, those credits up to 90 days. And she ended up using it all at Christmas, buying presents for her family. So that is a great way to grow your customer base, is by having your customers referring other people, and explain to them the advantage and the benefits of them referring other people.
Well, yeah, and to add to that point too, Karen, what's great about the Brand Champion customer referral program is that those customers that are referred by that customer, if they decide to join and become an associate, they keep their customers. They don't become your customers anymore. So they start with a customer base right away, which is awesome. So as they're just a customer referring, the associate gets the credit. If you decide to walk them up the stairs and enroll them as an associate, their customers follow them. And so it's a great tool to walk people up the stairs and get them a good base to get started. So great point.
Harry, I just wanted to, and that's the point too that I'm trying to make, is that I signed up a new associate based on the fact that I showed her that she had 7 people that she referred, and 6 out of the 7 actually ordered. 3 of the 7 are on SmartShip. And then I pointed out to her that, she got the $30, but do you realize that if you join the company, those 3 that are already on SmartShip with, I think, a total of 5 packs of patches, that's 5 times $15 every single month. And they get those customers back when they that they referred when they join. So it's a real good way, as long as you're following up so that who referred them, to get back to the person who referred and offer the opportunity when they may not even realize.
Well, yeah, and the Brand Champion program, as people refer, I mean, you wouldn't want to refer a restaurant if you've never eaten at it. And the key thing is that when you show a customer that they've made a little money, $30 for every referral, and all of a sudden they've got, a couple $100 in their back office, it's a great time to talk to them, to be able to say, do you want me to show you how to make some real money? You know what I mean? Because you've made this, and it opens up the conversation to be able to talk to them about the business side of it without forcing them. Because generally most customers that I found that get $30, $60, $90, $120, they're pretty excited about it to use towards the purchase of more products. So it's a great opportunity to, so don't lose sight. That's a great point, Paul. Don't lose sight of the Brand Champion program when you have a customer that joins, to talk to them about it and just let them know that, did you know we have an amazing referral? And I think our Brand Champion referral program is the best in the industry by far. So great.
Yeah, and I think you guys covered it all. Like, that Brand Champion program's insane. I don't know any company that gets $30 back, but I'll just edify. I really train my customers about that link, and I really let them. It's no different than building strong associates from the top. If you build strong customers from the top about that Brand Champion program,
yeah, they
just share and share and share. And I love it because, like, so say I didn't know you, Terry, but I don't know your friends and family, but they're going to try. And so instead of you referring them back to me, well, half the time people don't reach out to someone they don't know. But when you're telling them and you're like, here's a link, Paul, I'm going to send you that you can get these socks that help my knee pain or whatever, right? Or these patches that did help me sleep. Well, they're going to be more open to buy from you anyways. So, and they do, because they trust you because you're their friend, right? So
you're getting into their warm market.
Yeah. It's I love the Brand Champion program. It's incredible. It's the coolest thing. And so you don't offer the opportunity. No, I offer the opportunity. I always offer both. I just do quick seed plantings when I'm introducing. You can either sign associate and sell like me or you if you feel like sharing and you get a really good story out of it. I do not sign people as associate if they don't have a story yet. Or I said, or you're a first time customer. I use it so much for marketing too. You get 25% off your first order. Go fill up your cart with as much as you want. It's a really awesome thing.
Yeah,
So
it's a great.
it's a huge marketing thing to tell someone 25% off. Where do you get 25% off something?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
many places.
Yeah. And then if
Just-
you refer somebody, you get $30 on top of that.
Yeah.
Which is,
And just to reiterate on that too, Terry, is that $30 that they're getting, if that customer that they referred orders again, they get 5%
that's right.
in their back office as a credit, the
Yeah.
one who referred them. So if, for instance, I referred somebody and that person keeps ordering and ordering and ordering, every time they order, I'm getting another 5% in my back office as a credit.
Right.
Like who does that?
We do. Super professional.
Exactly.
That's why this is going to be absolutely ginormous. I'm reading a question from Angie Hall in the chat here. How do you decide to where you strategically place someone on your team? And Paul, are you here, buddy? There you
Yeah,
are.
sorry guys, I was late. I was tubing with the kids and we oh my gosh, it was so slow. It took 2 hours to go, I think a kilometer, if that. Anyway, I literally just made it here at like 8:10, 8:15 and then jumped on. But
Well, we're always glad to have you, brother. But a great question from Angie Hall. And I don't want to be the one always talking here. So maybe you can direct just a quick little talk about strategic placement, Paul.
yeah, so when you're trying to figure out where to put somebody, so don't just say, I'm just going to put someone there for the sake of putting them there. Take a look at your organization. I never like to fast track to the end of our comp plan. We're always at the beginning. We're trying to hit team leader as, your first kind of big stage that you hit, but you also have to look at the end and you have to realize that you need 3 strong legs. So what you don't want to do is make a mistake as you're strategically placing and put Eric Worre underneath, some other big giant, let's say in network marketing, like a Tony Robbins. You wouldn't put Eric Worre under Tony Robbins. You'd want Tony, you'd want Eric, you'd want, some good players, and then you would help them build by strategically helping them. So you have to just kind of think about who's working this, who deserves this. Not to say you can't put somebody that is going to be awesome under somebody, but just make sure the person that you're giving that person to is actively involved, that does want to build a business, that is looking for an additional income. But you don't want to leave people on your front line. You want to get them put somewhere before the 30 days is up, because as soon as they enroll, you have 30 days and it's counting that day they enrolled. So don't think it's the 27th of June is the 27th of July. It could be the 26th. You have to count the day and it's 30 days from there. So you want to put these people somewhere because they're just sitting there on your front line, and maybe they're just gonna, they're just gonna kind of build, buy some product. Well, don't leave them there, put them under someone. They're gonna get 4% in commission from that, but you're not giving up anything. You're literally still the sponsor. You get the full commission, and then you're going to place them under who you think deserves it. So you really kind of have to look at your own organization. And if you're going, well, I'm not sure if I don't, it has to be, yes, for sure them, because they're working hard and I believe that's where they should go. In a worst case scenario, the person's one off of strategically getting to team leader or something, and you kind of throw someone a bone. You don't really know what they're going to do, but it makes them qualified. And then it allows that rank advancement to happen. Of course, we're going to have situations like that where we do it because we're running out of time or something, but just make sure you're paying attention to who deserves it. And then you can help them grow. You can also imagine having a network marketer approach you and say, wow, this is very interesting to me. It's incredible. I would love to build this. I see the residuals. I see the, all the different stuff about this. And imagine you have 2 people in your tank and you could tell that person, hey, if you want to jump on board, you're going to have the best support ever, but I can give you 2 people right away.
And you hit
And you can
qualify.
actually use that as a kind of incentive for someone to join your team that's not sure, but then once they realize that this strategic placement exists, I tell everybody that are asking me about this business. I'm like, look, if you join me, I can help you grow. I can put people under you. I guarantee you're not doing that in your binary right now, because that doesn't happen. But this is unilevel, and we can build as many we want across, but we can help those people dig deep because we get paid in affinity. It does never ends. We could have 1 million people and we'll get paid on it. But just remember, you need those 3 strong legs, and now you have to sort of manage who goes where and what happens, just so that you don't have 1 runaway leg and 2 little tiny ones, because as you get up in the ranks, only so much of the percentage of that, total group qualifying volume actually goes towards that rank. So that's the importance of building, because if not, we would just sit there with a runaway leg and never do anything ever again. We always have to be working. We always have to be growing. We always have to be, bringing new people in. So, but don't be afraid if you're at that moment of, oh my gosh, should I really hit the button on here? Just, reach out to somebody to get clarification, but it's pretty simple, and just reward those that deserve it at the end of the day. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
just be throwing people around for no reason. That's
So-
a pretty unstable structure. So
Just an analogy I use, Paul, when I'm explaining, that'll help you guys kind of understand that is, I always say, when a teenager gets a truck given to them, they just trash it, they drive the heck out of it, they don't take care of it. But when they work for it and paid for that truck and bought it, they take so much better care of it. Or kids with anything that they get. I always use this analogy. So definitely strategically place someone that's working, willing to work, gonna build, gonna do it. And that's like that deserving word, like you said, because you don't want to just stack someone's leg and then they just kind of quit and you're stuck still taking care of all those people then, right? You want to reward someone like that. But what I love about strategic placement too is, I always say network marketing is it's the easiest business to get into because it's cheap, but it's the easiest to leave. So when you get someone making money fast, hard, quick, then they don't want to leave. So strategic placement is awesome for that, to help build someone and get them going right quick, right out the gate too, right? Especially when they're willing to work.
Three people, Brenna, that join and get on a smart chip that you personally enroll. 3 people that join at one, your business is paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
That's key. It's
Yeah.
a key factor. Not that you need 3 to hit the first rank. You only need 2 as qualified.
Yeah.
But
if you strategically place people under someone that's not working, they're just going to expect that the whole time and not work. They won't. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen in other organizations, and they don't work for it.
And
Right.
in the
It's
back-
kind of like that spoiled little teenager that had everything handed to them. So
That's right. And in the guides tab, Jen Moyer did a good training, Angie. If you go to the guides tab on Team Pagination, under recorded calls, Jen Moyer, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, she did a training on strategic placement. So it's a good one to watch. There's
It is a good one.
94 trainings in the guides tab. So if you're looking for training, it's there.
and Brina, on the note about the spoiled teenager, it's just like the spoiled customer. So
Mhm.
I've stopped giving away freebies
mhm.
because people who pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay, remember that. So
Yeah.
if they purchase something, they're waiting for it to come, they're excited, they can't wait to put it on. I've given out numerous patches, and I'm blessed to be able to do that to a lot of different people, but the result was either they ghosted me, they don't reply, they say,
They didn't
"Oh,
use
yeah, I
them."
remember getting that, but I don't even know where those are now." Or it goes
Yeah.
on and on, and I realized it's over.
No.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Humans need a financial payment to something to appreciate it.
Yeah, and then they're gonna pay attention, they're gonna, am I getting results, all those things. So,
Yeah.
don't, of course, we're at a vendor event and we're slapping patches on people. It's kind of like a sample, don't get me wrong, not there. I just meant
Yeah.
sending them out in the mail. If somebody doesn't want to spend $15 on themselves, or $11.25 because they get 25% off, or the 45, I just don't understand. I
Yeah.
bet you they got Netflix running, they've got Disney Prime, all those things are just whacking their credit card every month. And they haven't even turned a flick on that month and they're paying for it. So trust me, people have $90 all day long. But just
Yeah.
remember, we can't want it more than they want it. So when we're talking about, I'll just get back to the original, how do you grow your business and all that. I missed that part, but it's important to don't try to get people into buying this $50 kit and nothing else. Don't even go there. Stay away from that. Stay away. Get them to be a customer. They're going to get 25% off, pretty much the same deal. You're going to get commission off that order. Now you're going to be able to have a strategic, sensible conversation after they know it works for them and allow them to go into their back office and upgrade. You can talk to them about the launch kits, about the bonuses, all those different things. So don't try to fast track them into becoming an associate, because the company just had to ship that out. They made $0 off it. You made $0 off it. It's a what if, don't know. Maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't, but most of my $50 people, sorry, that's it.
There was
Nothing
a
else.
lot of orphaned associates, Paul.
Oh.
because of that.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
can't, there's no
So-
point making them associate. You can't sell
No.
something if you don't have a story.
Because
We all started with a story. You
if I
can't.
didn't have a story, I would not be doing this right now. I would not be.
That's right.
touching it. There's not a chance.
Yeah.
And you've got to have what we have. And that's why there's only 84 people on this call, not 74 billion, because it's just not for everybody. So just take them through that customer. I don't know why people are afraid to do that. And I get it in the past, because when you went to upgrade, the double email and you had to phone in to upgrade, and we can do that now seamlessly.
Yeah.
Just by allowing them to go into their customer account and then choosing a drop down to upgrade. But it's better you do that, because then you might have a customer for life, a brand champion hero, and you never had to scare them away with the MLM, because they might not even try the product in the first place once they find that out. So get them to be a customer. Don't talk to them about, say that there's an opportunity and that's why I'm doing it and all that. That's enough.
Yeah.
Like, I just say I've been doing this for 7.5 years and there's a reason I've been doing that. That's all I say. I basically told them I do the business and that the opportunity is there, but it's up to them to have the passion that we have to wake up every day to go, how do I get these patches on people?
And product.
And that's not going to
experience-
be everybody, and we need to accept that. So just trust the process of the customer and then upgrade them from there to an associate, because we're not getting people. I don't spit out magic words and the person gets seduced and says, oh my gosh, what button do I hit next to enroll? No, it's they've watched me, they've trusted me. My latest associate enrollment was 5 years ago, or whatever it was, 2017 or something, 6 years ago. She
Yeah.
finally just made the leap, right?
Yeah.
So people are watching their, when you do that family post and all the likes and all that are there, and then you do the, oh, my business, and there's nothing, and then you get down and out, no one's watching, no one's looking. Yeah, they are, because the post
Yeah, they
before
are.
proved it was they were watching. They're just not hitting the trigger. They're not pulling the trigger yet. So just stay the course, keep doing the do. It all comes down to the product at the end of the day. I don't care what anyone says, bring up the business for sure. But if they don't love it,
We-
they ain't
There's
sharing
no,
it.
there's no
Yeah,
doubt,
so-
Paul and Brenna and Karen and everybody else on this call. We are a product-based company first. And we have to have the experience of this product. It doesn't have to be profound. It just has to be a product experience that's yours. It's authentic, it's full of integrity, and we don't set the amygdala off in somebody else's brain that they know that your story is not authentic. And so customer is key, as far as converting somebody into an associate. So great point.
So I was gonna say, you know what else is, never stop posting. And even though you don't get likes or comments, because humans just tend to stay away from those things. But I'll tell you something, I've never stopped posting. I don't stop posting. I might even post too much at times. But anyways, I'll tell you, I get stopped uptown all the time. And I've branded myself so much about this company, and everybody knows what I do. And I walked into the Canadian Tire in my town last week, and this lady finally bit. She's known me for 8 years. I've been doing this 6.5. She's like, "Okay, Brenna, tell me about this patch. I've had it. I've had it, and I gotta bite the bullet with you. Tell me about these." And now she's a customer and she ordered a whole bunch of stuff because it just, and she's absolutely changed her life around. So that's another powerful way. Like you just get yourself out there, get branded, do your stuff, right? Things like that, because it's powerful and people
Perfect.
get to know who you are. I get stopped all the time. I'm done. You're the crazy patch lady, aren't you? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. You know,
That's me.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's me.
Well, and that's another quick
Fire.
question.
Let's hear
Go
what you
ahead.
got, Eddie. You have to unmute.
And one of my
Yeah,
customers started ordering $500 a month. So I went offline and I said, hey, just to have a conversation with her. Hey, are you buying all this stuff for yourself or for other people? Because I'll just tell you. And then I had a conversation about being an associate and sharing and that she can get wholesale and stuff. That's when you bring up that next conversation of a follow-up, right?
Sure.
Like she's spending $500 a month on patches. Obviously she's loving them and was continuously doing it. So I had a conversation with her about the business, right? That's when you can do those follow-ups about the business. Cause I know she sold on the product. Obviously she's buying a lot of patches.
Great point.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Thank you. This is great. Quick question. I guess Sabrina, you mentioned you got my mind rolling there before with the customer thing. And I guess I could look in the back office and figure it out, but do we have access? I grab a customer. I'm like you, I talk to everybody. I mean, we signed up, we have Walmarts here and we're going through the checkout and my wife actually started going, hey, anybody have pain? Like, one of the guys at they checks the receipts that works at Walmart goes, my wife has a lot of pain. Here's Eddie's card, the guy signed up and he's already got like 3 customers, it's just.
Oh,
it's
that's awesome. Wow.
just by that simple,
Yep.
and it's like, if he takes the card, I just tell people, if you take my card, because of like 10 cents to 20 cents to get made, just, if you're not going to use it, just hand it off to somebody who has pain,
Yeah.
But the cards, I think, Paul, like in the ebook or whatever, that those cards are great. You put the QR code on there. I actually have 2 QR codes. I got one on the front that goes to my main page and one on the back, I think that goes to the athletic page or something like that,
Mhm.
But the question is, do we have access to a customer's affiliate link or whatever? So, so we could like maybe point them to that so that they can become brand champions that much easier. Like, do we have access to that as if we bring in a customer, or only they have access to that? That would be the
Only
question.
they do, but I'll
Okay.
tell you a cool story when Brand Champions started coming out. When I was starting to get new customers and talking to new people, if I knew the person well, like say one of my online customers, I'd mess them, hey, send me your Brand Champion referral link. I have someone that's interested in stuff and I'm going to just refer them to you because they were really good customers. So I felt, why not support them? And you know what that did was actually they started getting all these $30 kickbacks credits in their office. And now it just like totally, that's when it was brand new. And so I was stealing their link. I also showed them how to grab it. And I tell them, email it to me because I have someone interested. I want to send them your link and support you. And they were getting all these. And then they were so pumped because they were getting free shopping. So I do that sometimes too for my really, really good, close, avid customers that I love too. But yeah, you do have to log into their customer account and get their login information to get their link or get them to send it to you.
Okay, cool. And is there any, so that works. Is there any training so that we can, like, when we get a good customer, we can say, hey, by the way, if you go here in your back office or whatever, however they have it set up, that you have access to this link. And when you share it out, guess what? You'll get $30 credit every time that you share. You know what I'm saying? If the people, is there any training on how that
Eddie,
works? Yeah.
Eddie, I'm gonna train everybody on it right now. It's not as complicated as it appears.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so here we are. We're at superpatch.com. Okay. All you guys got to do is go down to the bottom and see refer a friend get 30. You click on that. Guess what? This is the link everybody gets in their email. This is no special link. This is not directed exactly to the person or anything. All it is this form right here.
Yeah.
All you do is fill this form out. You're going to know what their customer ID is, all the different things you fill out, and then somebody can just go and they can refer as many people as they want. They can go and change this message down here if they prefer to make it more personal. They can send it to one person at a time or multiple people at one time. And
Wow.
that's it. So when somebody gets on the brand champion, this is literally what they're getting. This is the link. It just links to this form, and all they do is fill it out and then send it out to people. And this can
Awesome.
be found on our replicated site at the bottom, but it really doesn't matter what site it comes from, whether it's corporate or us. This needs to be filled out, right? So all
Yeah.
these different fields will put it to that person. So you can just show them this and say, this is how easy it is. So once you become a customer, now you can start sharing it with people, and that's it. That's as simple as it is.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
No problem, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie. Well, listen, we're running out of time here. Joyce, quickly, if you could unmute.
Yes, thank you for taking my question. I wanted to go, I'll try to be as concise as possible. I'm starting to build quite a bit. I'm just been enrolled for about 2 or 3 months now, but I'm getting some conflicting information from members of my upline. Some of them are telling me to, and I'm talking about mostly with the people that I'm personally enrolling. One person in my upline is telling me to build deep, like 3 legs and go really deep. And the other person in my upline is telling me to go wider with my personal enrollees. And I understand about placing people under people to help them and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, which one makes the most sense? I'm not talking about going wide with like 900 people on my front line. But what has happened to me personally is 2 of the people that I got in first, who are at the top of 2 of my legs, are doing nothing. They're staying on their smart ship, but they've decided they have no intention on working the business or, you know, doing anything like that. They like to use the patches themselves, but, you know, that might change in the future, I understand. But in the meantime, those are kind of almost dead legs because they don't have people really under them. So I've gone a little bit wider to try to start, you know, have people at the top of my legs that are stronger. So what is your guys's experience and recommendations for, you know, what to do in those situations?
Well, I can
So-
jump in
oh.
and say, so you want to go wide no matter what. So how wide you go is really dependent on who the people are. But just because someone's at the top of a leg and as other people are growing that leg, just because the one at the top is not doing anything, you can still get a managing director, a vice president, or anything in that line. And as long as it's in that line anywhere, that goes towards you rank advancing to get to national vice president. So that's impossible to know. It's impossible to say, gosh, should I leave this person on my front line? That doesn't mean the leg's dead. Because if there's
Right.
other people growing underneath there, then that's fine. That's okay. But that's why I always have that conversation with people to know how serious they are, so that you know if it's worthwhile putting these people there or not. Because in that case, you could have put those people under someone else, and hey, maybe they buy in the future, maybe they buy nothing, but at least you gave someone underneath you the opportunity to benefit from that residual income that they wouldn't have been able to had you just left the person sitting, you know, on your front line. So yeah, I always say, hey, get 4 or 5 great lines going, not just 3, because what if something happened to one? So you always have to, you know, sort
Right.
of
Yeah.
do that yourself.
Right, and that was my question. You know, I had someone in my upline, and I adore both of these people that are giving me advice. Don't get me wrong, but the one is saying absolutely not, only 3 legs, and then everybody that you enroll should go deep from there. Not
No.
that the people who are already in there are going to be building it, but you should build that. Then I have the other one that's like, no, if you have one that's, you know, really not doing anything right now, you can absolutely add another leg or 2 and go wider. So that was, you know, where I
Yeah.
was a little bit confused. So
But here's
Yeah,
the hard part. We
So
don't,
honey, oh, sorry, Terry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say quickly, we don't know, you know, somebody may say they're gonna build and they don't build too. I mean, that's another
Yes.
situation you could have.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
really what you need to concentrate on is to, as Paul said, have a conversation with them. And when with the original comp plan with this, we were supposed to build wide. So all of us built wide. I mean, I think at one point, Paul had 160 people on his front line, right?
Mhm.
But when you get up to the higher ranks, they're taking 40, 40, 20% of the volume to hit a rank. So you can't have a runaway leg, because it doesn't matter if you had $1 million volume in that leg, only 40% of it's going to count towards a rank. Right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
you need to have
Mhm.
3 legs. So if you had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on your front leg, that's okay on your front line. But really what you want to do is get the commitment from at least 3 people that say they're going to build this. And
Right.
that's what the training in the back office that I did a week or so ago, based on franchise mindset.
Mhm.
Okay, because you want to look at it, if people want to build, then they have to know what their financial commitment is. And so if somebody knows that their financial commitment is $90 plus tax and shipping to run this business, and they need 3 people that get 3 people that commit to that every month, your volume is going to be incredible, and you'll hit ranks without even realize you're hitting ranks. But the conversation is key about seeing what people want to commit to, right? People don't buy a franchise and spend $350,000 and commit to it for 2 months or not commit to it,
Mhm.
right? So it's very, very important to have the conversation with people. And
Right. And
if they want to just join up and be a wholesale associate and get on SmartShip, then that's great. Maybe the timing for them to build just isn't now.
right. And that's with both of these people. I did have that conversation with them, and I've had, multiple conversations since then, because I know them personally also. So I can have a little more candid conversation with them.
Mhm.
And they're really busy right now, so they can't make it a priority, that type of thing. They got into it with good intentions, but now that's changed a little, which is fine. They might want to start building later, but I don't want to be just hooked into that situation if I can go a little wider and maybe have, a few other people in other legs on my front line that are really wanting to be builders, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and so you're in the right mindset. Like what I do is when they go on my front line or whatever, I build them, and that's a worker. And you build them till they can't quit, right? I work with them. But I never stop signing people up either. Every once in a while, I have to go back to the drawing board and go find my new associates again. I go help associates find associates and build them.
Right.
Because if you build them, they build you. But then
Correct.
also, and never stop, because you're right. You never know when someone might quit.
Mhm.
Right. And they can just at the drop out. So if you get to know and you're in there and they know your organization. So just locking to 3. No, you're fine with throwing some people on your front line. And the other ones are okay too to have in your organization. It's built with lots of different types of people, and that's great too.
Right. Absolutely. And I appreciate that, I appreciate this, you guys. I just was really conflicted because I had one person that was telling me absolutely no more than 3 legs, no matter what.
Oh,
And
no,
then one
don't.
that was telling me, no, you can go wider because you want to have those builders, that you can start to build under. And that's what made more sense to me.
Yeah.
Everybody's
And I respect those people that just want to shop too. I respect them.
Absolutely.
But you wouldn't believe one day when it's time in their life and a seed sparks up in them and they're like, let's go. I want to build this, because they start sharing. And so you never know that. And I don't treat those people any different than my big fast builders,
Right.
because they're all important and they all make my paycheck. So,
Mhm.
but you never know. Like, it's like we always use keep them around the campfire still, just keep them in the know. I don't harass them as hard as I do for someone that wants to make $5,000-$10,000 a month.
Right.
I don't harass them, and I leave them, but I always still you keep them around, because you never know
Right.
when that spark is going to hit them.
Right.
And sometimes
Okay.
it does.
Yeah.
Listen,
Thank you.
Joyce, thank you for your call. Listen, if you guys would like to do a part 2 Q&A and continue this next week, and the reason I have another call and I have to use this Zoom, so I have another call at 9 o'clock and I'm right on the hour here. So
Right,
if you
bang
guys
on.
want to continue this call and do a Q&A, bring your questions for next week, and we can do a part 2. Bring your questions, and I will make sure that I don't book a call, because this call was only supposed to be a half hour, And we are now at the hour, and I booked a second call at 9 o'clock. So I have to run. And, but if you want to do a second call, we can do a second call next week. Just send a private message to myself or Paul or Karen or Brenna, and we will continue and bring questions, and we'll do this all again because we're building.
Looks
this
like everyone's saying in the comments to do it, so let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Next week, we'll do part 2, Q&A part 2. This is your business. So I'm just going to